Okay, so what are your guys' names and where are you from? Let's go starting left to right.
Night Owl, and I'm from Norristown, PA.
Woodchuck. My real name is Chuck Wood. I'm from Norristown, Pennsylvania, also class of 1985.
So I'm Bumble Dan, also from 1985, and we met on the trail in Massachusetts. Massachusetts.
Yeah, Massachusetts.
Awesome. Okay, and behind you guys is the AT Museum. So you guys came to just revisit the trail together and...
Yes,
Yep.
do some trail magic.
Well, you
Awesome.
were here at the dedication, right?
I was here at the dedication when the sign sold up. It was stolen. I made that first sign over there, just leaning against the poles, the original halfway sign. It was stolen like 2 years before the museum. And when they dedicated the museum that night, I was sleeping there, and somebody came in the middle of the night and lashed it there. It's been there ever since.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So we're right at the halfway point of the AT,
Yes, we are.
and you made the sign.
Yep.
Yeah,
It
and
was
somebody...
done in '85. I said, this is embarrassing. We got to get this taken care of.
Okay, nice. Yeah, and somebody stole it, so you had to make another.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
now
I take that to
the
my house.
but now the stolen one's back.
The original one's back, the new one's back on down by the. We're gonna go see it in about an hour or so. Yeah.
So he also made the road sign for
two
the museum up
museum
there
signs.
past the
There's
stop
some more
sign.
museum signs out there too. It's a two-sided sign. I made those also.
Awesome. So you guys are all super connected to the trail. I'm so curious what it was like in '85. So, and of course, two of you did it in '85.
I did it in 22.
You did it in 22, but you two are brothers.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So, well, I want to hear about the gear. So in '85, how heavy were your packs?
My pack was anywhere from 75 to 90 pounds, any given time, especially coming out of town, because I had all mail drops. I had a lot of food.
Okay.
And I carried a lot of gear.
My pack probably at its lightest was a little over 40, maybe 45. And the heaviest was, I know because at Fontana Dam they had a scale. Going into the Smokies it was 64 pounds.
Wow.
And when I left Monson, I put it on a scale, 111 pounds when I left Monson.
111.
Because I had a full-blown postal flag to fly on top. I had a full outfit. I had a birdhouse, two-fifths of champagne, a hammer and nails, and enough food for 10 days, and it was bizarre. And material to make signs like Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. It
Wow.
was 110 pounds.
And so the flag you were flying on your walking stick.
On my walking stick, and I was bouncing on my nose like this.
But for the summit
And it's in
day,
the picture, and it's on there.
that was for
And at
climbing
the time,
Katahdin.
it was the largest flag known to be flown over Katahdin at that hour.
Whoa.
In '85. And I got it dry cleaned, and I gave it back to the lady who was the Greenleaf. She was the postmaster there for 45 years, and we got to be very good friends. I had tea with her and lunch and everything over the years. A nice lady.
And so that was like a 14-foot aluminum pole that you
Yes.
welded?
Made it myself, yep. And I had a water bottle on it, and had a north and south on it, had a cross. It was blessed, and yeah, it was red, white, and blue, and yeah, it was.
Wow.
It was bizarre. I had two raccoon tails on it. It was hooked up. It had all the feathers I was carrying that I found on the road. I had I found a ribbon. We went to a horse show. The guy wanted a ribbon. He gave me a ribbon. I had a third place horse ribbon on there.
Wow.
Pretty wild. And I found a really weird looking guy, and he was in the top of the A toy. It's a pink toy with some fangs on it, and it was stuck up in the A part. It was pretty wild.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a bizarre.
Eclectic, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it was one of a kind, and my jacket was over the top.
yeah.
Yeah, that I got in '84, and as we were going, we added patches to it, so it should have had one.
Awesome. Okay. So comparing that to 22, I'm sure, how heavy was your pack in 22?
Right around 30.
30?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
Given time, like 30. Sometimes later, 27. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems more reasonable, and a lot of people have like
Yeah, no
12-pound
biking.
packs
It's
now.
All we had running trail shoes. That's all.
Yep,
We're
trail shoes.
lightweight,
Hookahs.
Exactly.
Hookahs,
Yeah,
right?
Hookahs, yeah.
Hookahs.
Yeah. Speed goats. Yes.
And what boots did you? I'm sure you had boots, both of you.
Yeah.
What were they
So,
like?
I know in the summer I carried Danners, and in the further down south and up north, I think it was like either an Italian made, so European made. I can't remember if they were like Galibiers or something like that. You had Fabianos,
Yeah,
right?
mine were mountain climbing boots. Yeah, they're from
Wow,
Fabianos.
like rigid mountain climbing
They were
boots.
heavy.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
16
Leather.
pounds. Solid
Wow.
number. 16 pounds, just empty with no feet in them. Put them on the scale.
It's like ankle weights.
Wow.
That was like walking with a ball and chain.
Yeah, geez, 8 pounds on each
They were
foot.
serious, yeah. And then, you know, give you a good footing for carrying all that weight on your back, you know. So,
Wow. How many people, did you see a lot of people in 85?
fair amount. I wouldn't say it wasn't really crowded, but we did have, you know, we ran into groups of people. Probably no more than 7 in a group, I would think at that time. That was a large group back then.
Yeah. We all kind of collected together at the crossing the Kennebec, because there had been a drowning there just before we got across, and so we wanted to protect each other in the crossing, and we did. Some of the people went across and brought long poles back so we could get across the river safely. It was up to here on me.
Did you use your walking stick?
Yes, we did. And it came into
Came in
play
very
because
handy.
we had escorted one lady in our group. She was only 4'11". Her feet never touched the bottom of the Kennebec. We had her up on these things. We were carrying her across. I went across twice to go get her and come back and go back. We went across the Kennebec twice to get her so she wouldn't. And she broke her
before the
arm
boat- that's before the
early.
boat actually
And
was
she
there,
broke her
yeah.
arm in Pennsylvania. So the picture, we just looked at her picture inside there. She's got the cast on. She's there for her picture.
She was 63
63 years
and
old.
4'11", and she hiked with a
finished.
broken an arm in her in the sling.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Finished
And
that
they
way,
both,
too.
they both,
Amazing.
They both lived to be. Bob was 98 and Rosette was 97. They lived to be great, great people. When they were in their 60s when we met them.
So,
Unbelievable, good people. Yeah, they were fun.
awesome. Yeah, so I'm sure that there were way fewer than in 2022, though.
Oh God, yeah.
2022 was a robust. COVID had, you know, everybody had kind of refrained from going out. They had tried to close the trail in 20 and then 21, and then 22 they opened the gates, and that was probably one of the highest totals that went out that year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was really super crowded when I got in, especially in the beginning.
But you,
Okay.
you can tell by the conversation we're having with you that we stayed in touch with many people that we never knew but until hiking the trail. We
Yeah.
meet these people along the way and,
And
they
they
become
become
lifelong
friends. Like I got
Yeah.
a dozen. I can honestly say, if I didn't hike the trail, these people had never been in my life. Which is incredible. It's amazing. That's the bond that's formed from just being and doing with people having common things and you know, just enjoying nature.
Yeah, you've been
As bizarre it is, yeah.
met on trail and you've been friends for 40 years now and you're still
Christmas cards,
hanging out.
9 yards, yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so do you guys have any, as a final thing, do you have any stories you remember?
Dozens, if not
Way
hundreds.
too many.
Would you
Every day is a story.
would you each mind sharing like one story that comes to mind?
I'll share one.
Okay.
I was hiking with a guy who's a strict military man, and we were walking down to get our laundry done in, I'm trying to think where Cook is at, let's say Troutbill, okay? And we're walking down the road and we kicked the bag. There was a brown bag on the road, and I picked it up and I looked inside and I pulled it out and he went, it's pot, you know? And dude, the guy military goes, Chuck, that's contraband. You're not allowed to have that. I said, Pete, I'm going to take really good care of this. I put it in my belt, and we got it back to town. We did our stuff. We came back to the place. He goes, did you take care of the contraband? I did, Pete. I took real good care of it. I destroyed it. It went into the trash. Good job, he says. We can't be moving up to contraband. We'd both be in jail.
Good.
It was just so bizarre. Like, what?
Yeah, I'm glad you dealt with that situation.
It was funny, but yeah, I kept it. And I
Nice.
never shared it with him, and I told him
good
I took
hiker
care of it.
would.
But he
Yeah.
was a good guy, and we're really good friends.
Awesome.
To this day. So Chaz and I, we spent a lot of time together. We met in Massachusetts and continued from there. Dalton, Massachusetts, as a matter of fact. But two quick stories is in Maine, and you'll see this when you get up there. You cross bogs, and the bogs have wooden, what do we call them?
Boardwalks.
So when they get wet, they're really slippery. So I'm walking along and Chaz is in front of me and I slip on one of the boardwalks. I end up in the bog and I'm on my back with my big heavy pack and I'm like wallowing in this bog and I'm going, Chaz, help me get out. And he's just laughing like he is now and he's like not helping at all. And so I have
Right up to
to
his
plunge
knees.
my arms into the bog until I can kind of scramble up onto
hysterical.
the
It was
boardwalk.
It was
Well,
hysterical.
And another fall that I took was I'm up on a big boulder and it's like you know, what you see on the AT, and I have to scramble down, and I end up slipping and you think that I'm really, you know, like not stable on my feet, but these are like isolated incidents. Anyway, I dive like this, like the swan dive off this boulder, and the forehead impacts a pine tree that's about 3 inches, and impacts this tree. The tree snaps off at the ground, but it saved me, and I get up and I'm okay. I might have like a little bump or something, but Chaz goes, Dan, that tree's been living right at that spot its whole time, just waiting for you to come along so that it could save your life. Otherwise, I would have hit my head on a rock or something. So, you know,
Wow.
those are the stories that you'll carry with you.
Those are very good stories.
Amazing.
The
Yeah,
rest
that
of
was
your life.
the
Just
moment.
little incidents that happen along the way.
Yeah, that tree's destiny.
Yeah,
Prophesized tree.
right.
And I did have a trail angel story here. I was hiking down south, and usually I get mail drops all the time. I have 20 mail drops along the way that we plotted out, like every 100 miles or so. And I was calling my wife, and she forgot to send one time. And I was by the place already, and I didn't want to wait around like 2 or 3 days for it, so I just kept hiking. And you know, I figured I gotta, you know, buy resupply or something like that, make some kind of alternative thing, you know, to resupply. And there was a gentleman that I met along the way who was section hiking, and he's from Kansas. And you know, I met him, and we hiked together for a little bit. We were talking and all that stuff. And then I passed him, you know, we weren't doing the same pace or anything like that. And then I met him up at the shelter, and he came up, and we stayed at the same shelter there that night, and we were talking, and we somehow got on the subject of my predicament, you know.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm going up to 17E. That's where my vehicle's parked. If you happen to be in the same area at the same time, maybe I can take you back to go get your package.
Totally.
And I was like, wow, what is this going on, you know? So I hiked on, and he happened to come strolling in late that evening, and he says, yeah, my vehicle's here, you know? And so the next day we got up and we went down. He drove me 27 miles back to this other hostel, and we got there, and my package wasn't there. So
Dang.
like, and he's got to go back to Kansas now. It's a 6-hour drive and stuff like that. And
Right.
I said, you know, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm like, no, I can't ask any more of you. Did way beyond what I expected, you know.
Right.
And he goes, well, I'll tell you what, we'll stay till 4, and then if it's not here, you know, I'll take you back and all that stuff. And like 5:04, what do you know, here comes the mail truck coming up, and I see my package in the side of the truck right there.
Wow.
And I went, oh, and she didn't even have to deliver it to the hostel. She actually signed it for me. I just showed her my ID, and she
Wow.
gave it to me, and I was like, oh my God. I said, you are my angel. And he went and he drove me all the way back up the 27 miles to my other destination so I could stay on track for the rest of the way to Katahdin. And it was like, unbelievable. I still keep in touch with him all the time.
Wow.
He
Yeah,
still-
that's
He
amazing.
still does sections. Like he came through Pennsylvania and he asked me about, you know, how rough is this section? What do you think about this? You know, what should I wear and stuff like that. So he usually does like a week or 2 weeks throughout the year. And he's almost done. He's getting really close to it right now.
Awesome.
But, yeah, that was the angel for sure, man. It was like one of those moments. Like
Yeah.
nobody ever does that, you know, but I met the right guy at the right time.
Yeah, that is super kind of
Trail
him.
does provide for sure.
Yeah, and I have heard one secret from a different thru hiker. He said that when you have a problem, vocalize it.
Yes.
Someone might overhear.
Do
Yeah,
not
that's
be
correct.
afraid to
There's
talk to
people who
people
go
that
really
are
out of their
around
way
you, because you
for
never
you.
know what their situation or
Yeah.
what your situation is
Yeah.
going to be, and you may meet them later on, and you know, just having acquaintance to them rather than them just passing you by again because they don't know you at all.
Right, sure.
Yeah, meeting people, absolutely a
Is
key.
a key,
for sure.
yes.
Do
Yeah.
not be afraid to talk to anybody. on
Always
the
say
trail.
hello. The most they can say is, what is so
Yes.
good about it?
Yep. Yeah, serendipity of the trail.
Yes.
Well,
Well,
Thank you
I
so
got
much.
one more thing to add.
okay.
So Chaz and I and Tim, we've gone up to Katahdin multiple times for reunions. We did a 10-year hike. This is just for me. We did a 10-year hike, and then a 25-year. I took my 9-year-old daughter up there, you know, and so it becomes part of your life.
Yes.
You know?
We're going back up next year for 40.
Yeah. Hopefully,
Sweet.
hopefully we'll be there.
Yes.
2025,
we don't know if he's
God
going to get up
willing.
top, but
I don't think I'll make it to the top, but I'll get there in physical. I'll be there.
But at least we'll be in the park.
bottom. We'll sign the book and just I'll hang out at the bottom. I'm okay with it.
Awesome.
My feet are rough, but I'll be all right.
Yeah, the things you do, especially something this big, they become part of you.
yes, they
yeah,
really do.
absolutely. Yeah, that's good
We all have the
stuff.
same common goal.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
The way of bonding.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Good luck on your trip.
Thanks.
Good
All
luck
right.
going north.
Enjoy.
Yep.